Yo, yo, yo. What's happening, everybody? Sunday night in Pennsylvania. What's up, Colleen? I seen you guys' junkyard video the other day. That was pretty good. It was entertaining. I watched the whole thing. There's definitely some nice stuff there to watch or to see. I'm going to throw a link up here. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. Let's get a link up here that if anybody wants to join in, we can definitely have somebody come in here. No big deal. How's everybody doing? Yo, yo, yo. Finally, we've had a week here of doing, right? Everybody doing good tonight? We're not rushing around like we was a week ago. That's a good thing. There we go. I'm going to post, there's a link posted in the chat. Anybody that wants to pop in, just go ahead and shoot me a message and I can let you guys in. The weather sucks here. It's getting cold out, so we're back in the house here. We're working on some heat for the garage, so as soon as we get that straightened out, then we'll be back out in the shop. What's up, Schultz? Thanks for popping in, my man. Not much. We're gonna hang out, like I said. I gotta get me. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get me at least a 55-gallon drum and make me a barrel stove for the shop. Like I said, I'd like to find an older, like maybe a junk 275-gallon oil tank to cut in half and do the with the metal pipe running through it for the blower. But we're gonna get something going in there so we can keep it nice and warm. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. What's up, man? How's it going? Good video the other day at the junkyard, man. I wish you guys weren't so far because there was some cool stuff down there. Especially those Elcos, man. I love the El Caminos. I'm trying to get a browser running here on this so I can see a little bit of what's going on. Thanks for popping in. Hey, Dakota, what's up, buddy? How's it going tonight? You gonna join us tonight, Dakota? You've been saying you want to pop in on one. There's your chance. Let me know. You're always welcome here, my man. What's everybody been up to this week? I hope everything's going good. Everybody's at least got to catch their breath now that No Name's over. Now, I see a lot of people's already prepared for next week or next year. Oh, look at me getting ahead of myself. Next year's No Name Nationals. I see a lot of people getting prepared. All I can say is one thing. We're probably going to bring our streetcar back to No Name Nationals next year, but next year we're going to shoot for that low ET award because that's really where it's at. We want to run low ET of the weekend and still do it with our streetcar. I mean, we're not disappointed. And to run 680s, can you do it on an iPad? Yeah, I mean, as long as you can talk in and out, you can. I don't know. I'm not much of an Apple guy, but doing good stuff. I know you're doing lots of good stuff. I seen the bearing video today. Wheel bearings are pretty, those kind of wheel bearings are a little tough when you got to cut the retainers off, press them back on. But I seen that. Hey, I had an idea too on that, man. You was looking at, I know you was looking for an 8 1/4. Have you measured like a Jeep Cherokee rear end? Because I know that's what a 9 1/4, I believe it is. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that, but I know like the Jeep Cherokee XJ, the small Cherokees. I've heard of guys swapping those in. I know it's kind of Mopar. I know since you're against going with an 8.8, I mean that would be your cheapest thing. But I mean, Dakota, if you want to click that link and see what it does, and I'll go ahead and if I get the message here, I can let you in. We can try it. If it doesn't work, you can always go back. It's not, no loss for us. So if you want to click it and try it, try it. You're welcome to. It'd be awesome to have you on here. And just wait and see if you pop in the guests. But we have the link up there. We haven't got a lot done this week. The weather's been crappy here on and off. It's been actually below normal temperature wise. Normally this time of year, early October and that, it's usually still in the 70s. And we've had nights in the 30s here. I mean, we had a frost last night. We'll probably have another frost tonight. it is what it is. But this week's looking up. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer this weekend or this week during the day. And you might be looking for a trans out of Wrangler. Yeah, I mean, well, the Wrangler and the Cherokee, that would be the same transmission, and they were out there. I mean, it's almost like the AX-15 is kind of a T5 variant. I've heard guys are swapping, mix and matching parts. Oh, you're looking for the automatic A999. Well, that'll work too. I was going to say, manuals are fun on the street. I love manuals on the street. There's nothing like ripping around in the manual on the street. The only issue is, any of you guys know you lose a lot of consistency with an automatic on the street or on a strip because it's hard to shift consistently. But yeah, I mean, that would be a good swap. I mean, an overdrive transmission, you can't ever go wrong with that. So let's see if we can find out where we're supposed to be now. We're logged on. But yeah, I mean, okay, let's see if we can get Dakota in here. Let's click on him and get him in here. Add to stream.
Hey, we on here, ain't we?
Yes, you are. What is happening, Dakota? I might have to throw a set of headphones in for this, though, since you're on here, so it doesn't echo. Just give me 1 second to plug a set in, because I don't want to blast everybody's ears online here. How you doing, Dakota? Find the headphone slot here. There we go. That should work. And that'll definitely help with the feed. How's it going, my man? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, good seeing you, man.
Yeah, man. You should have been at No Name, man. It was off the hook. Hopefully, we can get you there next year.
I had headphones too, man. Oh, yeah. Was it?
Oh, it was awesome. If anything, just turn your.
Let's see if I can get it.
Oh, don't even get me started on Firebirds, man. There is not a sexier quarter panel in the world than a second gen Firebird. Those things are just rolling artwork, man.
Back winder with that.
Don't get me wrong. I love all F bodies. You know what I mean? I was always an F body fan, but when you put a Camaro, I mean, a Camaro is a beautiful car. My first real street legal car I had was an '80 Camaro. But when you compare, side by side, a Camaro with a Firebird, the Firebird just has so much better lines to it. I mean, it's just them little touches, the little bulges, the quarter panels, they're just art on wheels, man. The dash, everything's beautiful with them. We've had a few of them. My favorite one I ever had. Go ahead. Sorry, Dakota. I mean, cut you off, buddy.
Oh, that's fine, man. I just think they put a little more thought and detail into the Pontiacs,
Yeah, all the Pontiac cars seem to do that. Just like in the 4th gens, with like the 4th gen Camaros and that, man. The 4th gen Camaro is a nice looking car, but to compare a 4th gen Camaro to like a 4th gen, like the Trans Ams that had, the cold air hood on the ram air hood, and oh man, are them some good looking cars.
Yeah,
Pontiac always, man. I was sad, I never understood that when, they restructured and everything with GM, that GM kept brands like Buick. Buicks are fine, I mean, but let's be realistic. The only Buick that was really, anything special was the Grand National. I mean, until you get back to the older stuff like the Grand Sport and stuff. But, they dropped Pontiac and kept Buick when they knew that the 5th generation Camaro was going to be coming out, and there would have been a 5th generation Trans Am, obviously, but I'll never understand it. I guess that's what happens. So when you take money from the government, they told them they had to get rid of Pontiac. They probably did it because of the old, poor taste joke about Pontiac. Obama probably didn't like that. So, because you've heard the joke. You've heard the joke. That's probably why Pontiac got the off tax.
Poor old blank.
Yeah. Yeah, thinks it's a Cadillac. That's probably what happened. But I mean, we don't care, but someone probably got upset over it. I mean, I like when people make fun of it. I mean, look at this. We make fun of ourselves. We call ourselves White Trash Motorsports. We're not. If you can't make fun of yourself, how are you gonna, be able to make fun of other people? You got to be able to laugh at yourself. But yeah, that thing sounds good, man. I heard it running. It sounds really good. She should rip. Did you figure out what you're going to do with the converter?
Man, I just put that stock converter in it because that's about all I had. And honestly,
Yeah,
dude, it don't really drive bad. It feels like it's got a lot of power, man. I
yeah.
I think it'll be
No,
okay with that converter, to be honest with you.
yeah, well, yeah, you'll get by with that. I mean, it's fine, dude. I didn't have. It was a long time. Probably all my first cars I had for a long time. I never had, converters in them, and I didn't realize the difference it made until I got my first converter. And I think it was just back then. It was like one of them $100 Saturday night specials or something from
Yeah.
Summit or Jegs, but it even made a difference to bump the RPM up. But it's nice. What's up, Buck? Thanks for popping in, buddy. But yeah, I mean, you'll be good with it like that because that's the beauty about building the cars. You can always upgrade as you go along, and that makes it
Oh
fun.
yeah.
It's fun to do a little bit to it, take it for a rip and see how it improves, and then bring it back and do a little bit more to it. And I don't know, that's what's always drawn me to it, especially like we got into a couple years when the kids were young where we was going four-wheeling every weekend, and I had started out with a stock Suzuki Samurai, and first it was spring over, and then 31 1050s, and then that grew to 33s, and that grew to 35s, and it was fun because we would take it out on Sunday and go off road, drive through the mud and rock crawl and stuff with it, and then what worked we would keep, and we'd always try new things on it. Try double shackle setup, just try different things and see what works and what don't work.
Right on.
And that's the cool thing
Yeah.
about it.
Seems like with them, you always breaking stuff though, huh?
Well, no, I never. Once I got it nailed out, like now the current iteration that it's in right now, I don't really have that issue because we come down to now I ended up with Toyota axles underneath it, and I got aftermarket axle shafts and stuff in it now, and the little motor only makes like 90 horsepower. It physically doesn't make enough power to break it now. so,
Oh
so
shoot.
you can get out in the woods and really beat on it and it won't break. But I mean, down the road, I'm going to put my Samurai because I took everything back in 2008. Tommy was that's when Tommy was he was 2 years old, and his sister was only 10. So with the kids being small, I was like, well, I'm going to build a four-door tracker, and I'll take everything out of my Samurai and put in this four-door tracker. That way I can still do basically the same four-wheeling I was doing, but the kids can safely ride in the back, and we had AC, and that progressed into that. But the problem ended up being with the trackers, a four-door tracker is just too heavy, especially after we started adding everything to it. I mean, I probably got more steel welded to the frame than came with the frame as we started breaking it, because I would start a set of 37-inch IROCs on a tracker frame will find the weak spots real quick. And it started just like ripping the out of the frame rails out. And then we had steering issues where like the crumple zones in the front, I converted it to leaf springs all the way around because that's what Samurais run. And honestly, in our terrain around here, the leaf springs work really well. So we like, why leaf springs have been in cars for 150 years. Why change, something that's worked? So I put leaf springs on it. But the problem was that tracker had a crumple zone about the first 10 inches of the frame. So that end of that frame was never designed to carry the weight of that leaf spring up there with that hanger. And eventually it started breaking the frame. And then we just cut it out and replaced it with box tubing, and then it grew up to that, but it ended up being like 4,000 pounds, and that's way too heavy for a rock crawler, even on that. So over the winter, if we get it, I still got, it appears sometimes in the videos, I got that Samurai, the yellow one that's in the garage. I've owned it since I got it like Friday, July 13th, 2001 is when I bought that. I bought it off a friend of mine that passed away a few years ago, but I remember the day I bought it and drug it home because it had a blown engine in it. But that one there, it's been stretched. The body itself has been stretched 13 inches, and then the overall suspension mounting points for the wheelbase, it's been stretched from factory trackers like 89 inches. It's 104-inch wheelbase now as it sets. So we're going to put everything out of the tracker back in the Samurai, and maybe I've been looking at Microsport for the aftermarket controller because it's fuel injected now, but I'm looking at Microsquirts because they're waterproof, and that factory Suzuki computer isn't waterproof, and we end up in a lot of mud and water where we go in our local spot, and I'm so afraid of killing an ECM by burying it in the water. So I was thinking if I go micro sport, I might actually put like a small turbo, like a little T3, T4 on it or something to wake that little 1.6 up. We'll see what happens. But it's geared so low right now. It's got 571s in the axles, and it has a 416-to-1 transfer case in it for low range. So she's geared a little low.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys got some off-roading down your way, don't you?
What's that now?
You guys got some good off-roading down your way, don't you?
Well, man, everybody always talks about this Etna Mountain around here, and that's just the place you go to do off-roading, set car on fires for insurance jobs, or, you know.
Well, that happens anywhere they can drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have a lot of that here.
Yeah.
That or any place anybody can pull off the road becomes their personal dump, you know, and that usually results in someone putting a gate up because they get tired of cleaning up after pigs that gotta dump stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
yeah, man, I ain't never done no off-roading or nothing like that, man, you know.
Well, I've seen a lot of, reason I said, you know, you watch a lot of the videos of people in the South and stuff, and I always see, like, there's a lot of mud parks and stuff down your way. Them guys know how to have a good time.
Yeah.
When they all basically just get together in a field and run trucks through there and have fun.
Yeah. But no, man, there's a big bunch of Jeep guys. Everybody around here is a Jeep. They got, you know, they got Jeeps. It just seems like they're always tearing up and always working on them. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, that's everything. You know, I mean, that's why years ago, that's why I started with a Samurai and ended up with tractors and Toyotas and stuff. Because don't get me wrong, Jeeps are cool, except these new JKs. I ain't into them because they made them as wide as a full size pickup. It kind of defeats the whole point of what a Jeep was about, being small and nimble. And now, you know, they made them as big as a full size truck. But, you know, the reason I got into the Suzuki stuff is because that was that. Every time I would go off road, there would be 50 Jeeps down there, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I want to be different, not the same. So I built a little Suzuki instead. You know, just the same way, though, like, you know, just like with you, I'd rather have a Firebird than a Camaro, you know what I mean? Just because everybody has a Camaro, only a few people have Firebirds. Unless you think you're Burt Reynolds, you know. What's up, Unfinished Project?
Yeah, man.
Put Craigers on your mobile.
When I was at the tag office, that woman was telling me, "Oh, don't you go thinking you're the bandit now." That's what she said, man.
Yeah, we can never be as cool as the bandit. I see now, Unfinished Project, he commented, he said he's putting Craigers on his mobile home because I was playing around and I did a short and I just said public service announcement. And it's something I've always said for years. I said, you know, remember, you can sleep in your car, but you can't race your house.
That's right.
You know, and that's words to live by. Well, Unfinished Project, he said he's going to put Craigers on his mobile home so he can race. And that's the exact thing. My mom said the same thing. She says, unless your home's on wheels, as soon as I said that. So, touche, Unfinished Project. We'll give you credit on that one.
That's funny.
Hippie Miller, what is happening? We got Hippie Miller in here. He excoriated me the other day. He didn't like that we had a Facebook page, and I don't like Facebook either. Trust me, my personal page, I never even open it. But when you're doing this YouTube thing, you gotta, you know, it helps with extra traffic. So I try to explain that. We're not selling out to Facebook. Don't worry, Hippie Miller. We're not going to sell out, buddy. We're too backward hillbillies to sell out. We wouldn't know how to do that anyway. But everything's good around here. We're having fun. We was talking. I mean, it is what it is. Next year, we're going to try to bring more power to No Name next year. Me and Tommy was just going over the data logs from No Name Nationals. I finally pulled the data out of the computer in the car and was looking through it. On that tune we was running that with, it looks like we was making about 620 to the wheels or so. I mean, we was running 680s. That ain't too bad. That's my daily driver. I mean, literally, that's the only vehicle I have.
That's pretty cool.
It was running like, I think our best pass was like a 687 at 105 miles an hour was the best pass of the weekend. So, I mean, and I said that's 100% daily driver. I mean, I know a lot of guys can put a tag on a race car and, you know, call it a street car. But I mean, legitimately, I drive this car to work every morning. And if I got to go to the store or anything, I hop in it and drive it. But we're going to take it off the road now. I've been driving it pretty much as my daily for 3 years. So I'm going to take it off the road here. I've been working on that Monte Carlo SS that we got sideswiped. It's beat up a little bit, but the car runs good. I'm going to use it for a winter ride. That way I ain't destroying nothing running it to salt. And I think I'm going to put the setup I have on the Cutlass right now. I have that single 7875. I'm going to put another one on it. So I have enough fuel system for 1,500 horsepower. So we're going to try to see if we can get enough turbo now to put the air through it.
So
we'll see what happens.
LS in it?
Well, I have a turbo in it now. I said I have a single,
Okay.
but I got a 6-liter in that car. And a T4 flange is kind of small for a 6-liter. Basically, that's what's limiting my horsepower right now is that little 7875. I know that's a bigger turbo, but on a 6-liter, that's a small turbo. So it's just the turbo hits a brick wall at around, I think the most we've ever got out it was about 650 horsepower because it just can't move any more air past that. So the car just quits pulling. Around $7,000, the car will just quit pulling and it just can't make any more power because that turbo just can't move any more air through the motor. So we're going to put another turbo that size on there. So I figure if we can get 600 out of one, if we put a second on there, that should get us over into 4-digit territory.
Heck yeah.
John's on here. He said Dakota's on alive like a parallel universe. What's up? What's up, Don? I just seen you, Paul. Yeah, John Wilburn's here. We're in the presence of greatness. Hey, awesome job, John. He said it's a parallel universe that we got him on alive. We got Dakota on alive, and he's not timed out. But no, it's good. I'm glad he pops in. You got to participate more with us, man. Dakota, you're a legend. You've been around for forever now.
Well, I have.
We like having you, man.
Living legend.
You're YouTube royalty now, man. Honestly. So, you got into it and you've been with us. You've been with Tony since the beginning coming into his live. So we're definitely glad to have you, man. I'm happy to have you here.
Man, I'm happy to know all y'all, I mean, it's been fun,
Oh, I know. That's I said in this thing that John created, the community that John put together when he announced the No Name Nationals, man. I mean, that's never been done before. I mean, look, we got a group of people from all over the country, and it's like we've known each other for years. We all help each other, we all, anything we can, we all, and like as Calvin was talking about on his channel, he says, that he noticed that drag racing's usually, a one-thing sport. Everybody's out for themselves. And he's like, he noticed that No Name, everybody was helping everybody. And that's how it should be. And that reminds me, remember that's something Tony once said. He said, to the rising tide lifts all ships, So, it helps all of us. The more we work together, the longer we be. Panthers, Fox Bodies, and Fords. NC in the house. Where you at in NC, man? I spent some time down around Charlotte, Statesville area. I've been down in Georgia. I lived in Douglasville, Georgia when I was a teenager, Dakota.
Okay.
For a few months right there, outside of Atlanta. My dad was working for a printing company. They used to have these German printing presses that they were called Kluges was the brand that did it. He was like one of the few people in the country that could set them up. Like they sent him with the instructions in German, but so he got the privilege of when a printing company would get one of those presses out, be setting them up, he got the privilege. They would usually hire him to come in and train the guys how to use it and how to get it set up right. So that's cool that we got to move around a lot. Yeah, Unfinished Project wants to know, Dakota, you plan on coming to No Name with us next year?
Well, I tell you what, my car. I mean, I drove it yesterday into town for a little cruise in. Man, it's kind of funny because you got all these high dollar nice paint cars, little do not touch signs. Man, I roll right in between them in this old you've seen the paint on it, I mean, it's pretty funny, but I drove it to town. I drove it to the gas station today, but next year it ought to be dialed in pretty good, and I might go. I'm thinking about it,
You gotta come, man. We'll set a spot, man. We'll get you a spot, man. I'm sure you know that John would love to have you. We'd all love to have you, Dakota. You know, you guys are what it's at. Getting these young guys involved and getting us in, you know, into this with us. That's what's going to keep the sport alive. Because I mean, personally, a lot of people's trying to kill this sport off. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
there's certain, you know, there's forces at work behind the scenes right now that, you know, that doesn't like this stuff. You know what I mean? And we're about going fast any way possible. I mean, I guess if we got to go fast with electric motors, it'll suck because there won't be the same noise and all of that. But
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
won't
if
be as
that's what it
cool.
takes, no, if that's what it takes to go fast, though. But me and Tommy was talking about today. You know, I was like, man, I was like, if we could only find like a Geo Metro, if we could get a hold of maybe some Tesla motors, we could probably make a pretty fast. Just take something extremely light, and then maybe instead of using batteries, maybe we could use like a capacitor bank. That way, we could just discharge all the power we got within a few seconds. That thing would probably fly. You know, and Tommy's more than that because he could code it and do all that with the computer stuff. He could write the hardware, the software to make it work. So we
Right
do. We got
on,
a
man.
computer. Well, we got a computer geek in our ranks, so that's one good thing. If any of us need tech help, we got technical support. He's up there actually now. He's going through all of our video. I just went up and dropped all the memory cards from No Name and onto his computer desk. I was like, "Here, Tommy, you got to go through this stuff." But I guess
Right on, man.
we're far enough out now, you know, that we can admit our screw up that we happened. And like I said, it really didn't matter, you know, that I promised him that he was going to go as soon as, you know, he said about wanting to go to No Name with me and wanting to help me and be part of the channel. And I told Tommy, I was like, you know, I want you to go. And he wanted to run the car so bad. So if you wonder why we screwed up when we was running our, the first round of the, what you call it, the bracket race. The reason the car red lit because Tommy decided to sneak. He made his first pass on the 8th mile and that, which he's made passes in my car on the road. He's made full boost hits, but he went out there with a 7-pound spring just in the wastegate. So I had the power turned way down and I let him make pass. So figured if I got kicked out for that, then so be it. It was worth it because that's what he wanted to do. And
Yeah, right on.
I rode him 700 miles with me. We dropped everything to make it there. And you know, we was on the way back. We was literally like on the phone looking for gas stations to make sure that we had enough fuel because we're like, all right, Tommy, we got $60 left. Find fuel where it's under $4 a gallon because we got to make it home on this $60. So, but we made it and it's fun, man. And it's a great trip though, man. You know,
It looked like a lot of fun, you know.
yeah, I know. Here, see though, Colleen, here on the AHRA. Or the IHRA track we got with driver's license, they have no problem with him running. So it is what it is. I mean, we have kids up here on our local dirt tracks at 14 that run down the track. So I mean, we have a local champion. He's been driving late models since he was 14. Let's see, we got Buff in here, we got Mopar Den in here. We got a lot of people in here tonight. Yeah, I mean, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You see, I had to bring the celebrity. I got Dakota here, and I can't. Yeah, look at that, man. We're gonna have to make Dakota a regular. So what's going on? You got a turbo 350 in that car, don't you?
What's that?
You got a turbo 350 in that Firebird, don't you? Or that's a Trans Am?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I know some tricks you can do to that too to help that up, and it's free.
Free? Oh man, that's my favorite tricks.
Yeah, I know a lot of. As I said, I've worked with them turbo 350s for a lot of years. I've learned a lot of stuff like how to dual feed the front or the forward clutch pack and how to get them to shift better and everything that don't even cost nothing.
Oh yeah, so man, I need to get with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to set you up. I got one video showing some of this stuff, but I mean, I know sometimes it's hard on the video. I'll have to email you my contact information. You can give me a shout one day and I can walk you through it. That way you can set it up.
Yeah.
Because that'll make it live better. That way when you're putting a lot of power to it, that dual feeding that front clutch, and give you the free turbo 350 info. I give you some of it, Buff, but I give it all away, buddy. I try to give it to everybody. But basically, though, if you dual feed the forward clutch pack on there, which basically, when you got that forward drum out, you take that inner seal off of there, and then when you're looking at the case with the front pump off, you like the 5 o'clock position, there's a feed hole there. What we do is we tap that 5/16, and then you just take a bolt, cut it off, and make a plug that up, and that dual feeds. Now, instead of just having half of that piston, that whole piston's got fluid behind it, and it literally doubles the holding power of the forward clutch.
Oh, right on.
And then, there's 2 places in the valve body separator plate that you drill out a little bit bigger, and that picks your speed up. You can block off the one accumulator that's in the valve body. You can block it off. You always want to leave the accumulator on the side on, though. That 1-2 accumulator, always want to leave that, because you'll end up with a tranny. It'll break the lugs inside the case if you make them shift too hard on the 1-2 shift. And then a 4L60 transmission is junk, and I mean, literally, they're not even worth the scrap to take across the scale. But the center support sprag assembly out of a 4L60 is stronger than the TH350, and it is a direct swap. You can take the one out and swap the other one in. So there's little stuff like that. When you get to that point, Dakota, we'll get you set up. That and your rear axle, I know we used to, with them Camaros, we'd go take gears out of a Chevy truck, because yours is probably like all the Camaros and Firebirds I had. It probably has, what, 273s in the rear end?
Well, believe it or not, man, I tell you, I looked up. That guy I got it from, he said that they put 373s in that. And, man, I jacked it up, and I kid you not, it's got 373s in it.
Oh, yeah, well, you'll know it right away. If you're rolling down the highway, mine with 373 gears and a 28-inch tall tire at like 60 miles an hour is turning like 3,500 RPM. So,
Really?
It feels like it should shift again, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so you left out. That definitely, man, I bet that car is snappy with 373s in it. Definitely,
man,
that's cool, man.
I ain't really got on it yet, man. I mean, I just driving it. Oh, man, it feels like it's got some power, dude,
Yeah, and well, that too, that 373 gears helping you with that converter being a little tight too, you know what I mean? Because it's getting it up a little bit faster. What's up,
But, man,
Lars?
I think it'll be all right with that stock converter, man.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right for a while. Like I said, you can always upgrade it later. You know what I mean? That's not a big deal. Just keep watching Marketplace. You know what I mean? That's honest. That's where my converter came from. I just kept watching Marketplace and found one. This year, I spoke with a couple people at No Name. Once I get my other setup, I need to get a custom converter built for my car. It's just, the converter's costing me a lot right now, and time-wise, because my car is painstakingly slow off the line. At No Name, I was spraying a 50 shot of nitrous in it for like 2 seconds out of the hole just to get the thing rolling, because that converter is just a little too tight. And that's what happened even there. I had the 2-step in my car set up the he's at Dakota Lab in the front porch rocking chair. I don't know, where you at, Dakota? You're in your house now.
No, man,
obviously.
This is my front porch. I'll give y'all a. Let's see. I had to take the tape off the camera because I keep the tape on. I'm that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't never be too careful, man.
Yeah.
It's not like the government would never spy on us. How dare you?
The government would do that.
No, we got a perfect government, man.
They're great.
They follow the Constitution and the laws and everything.
Exactly.
So, I don't know what you're worried about, but I always thought that too in my laptop. Believe me, I keep my computer taped off on the laptop camera since I've got it. It's like someone can turn that on and watch me. They might catch me picking my nose or something.
Exactly, man. You know what I'm saying?
You can't have that. That'd be all over the internet, man. That could be terrible.
Well, you think them guys that watch through the cameras, take pictures of you and got a group chat that they send pictures? Oh, look at this guy I've been watching,
Yeah, look what these morons are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I can imagine they probably do. But, they're probably a bunch of perverts anyway. They're probably on there checking out the women. They don't care what we do. We're not pretty enough to look at.
Well.
You guys speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly, man.
There's some freaks out here, man. You know what I mean? I know with Zip Ties, man, he don't like to show his face because he got some weird. There's people out there with mechanic fetishes and stuff. I mean, there's definitely some weirdos out on the internet. I said, on zip ties and bias plies. That's why he don't show his face. He got some like, there's like weirdos out there that has like mechanic fetishes and stuff. That's why I don't
Whoa,
like showing
dude.
his face. I guess people say weird stuff to him. People want to see his feet and all kinds of stuff, man. There's some
Oh,
sickos
that's
out
weird, dude. That's
there. Yeah,
weird,
it is.
man. I don't mess with that weird stuff, man.
No, but there's definitely, well, you got to figure, man, the internet's a big place. There's definitely some weirdos out there.
Well, yeah, I see weirdos going into town, man. So they're I mean, I know they're in online, man.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I've had, I've just had some people come on and, call me a bonehead or something like that. I haven't had nobody really give me a super hard time, but I haven't ran into none of that yet, but I don't care. I like that. So I like feedback, even negative feedback, good sometimes. And if somebody's calling me an idiot for something I'm doing, at least they're leaving somebody else on it.
Yeah.
Some of my methods may be crude, but I mean, I've been perfecting them for 30 years, so they haven't let me down yet. They haven't killed me anyway. They almost killed me a few times, but they haven't killed me.
That's right. Almost ain't it, man.
No.
Well, I was reading some of them comments on that. You put that air conditioning unit in your truck, man. I mean, some of them comments, dude.
Oh, I know. It was funny, and it was a joke, and obviously a lot of people took it serious, but the fun thing about it, Tommy's joining us. Dakota's on here with us tonight.
Hello.
We got
How's
an
it
internet
going,
royalty with us. But no, I mean, a lot of people took it as a joke. I only had a couple people, like a handful of people, tell me that they hope that I hit the brakes and it flies forward and kills me and my whole family. But hey, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
think
that's
it's
the internet.
hilarious, man.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I feed on it. Like literally last night, I posted a video of the pickup truck running yesterday, and I was talking about it because I have that 1995 Ford F-250, and I got to get it working on it so I can run it. It needed ball joints and stuff. That's why I didn't even try to take it to No Name Nationals this year. But I had it running, and I stated the fact. It's a big block truck. It's a 460 truck. And that year, in 95, because 94 and a half is when the Power Stroke come out, the 460 made a little bit more horsepower, like 15 more horsepower than the Power Stroke did that year. And I think the Power Stroke had the 460 by like 30 pound-feet of torque, which, that's kind of negligible one way or the other. But, and, everybody drives, them 7.3s with tuners on them and, and the newer diesels, and the newer diesels do run really good. But man, I was in the stock Power Stroke, a bone stock 7.3 a few months ago, and I was like, man, these things are dogs compared to what the new ones were. And we thought it was good, and it was way better than like the 6.5 that GM had out, and the 7.3 IDI. That's a good solid motor. It's just not a powerhouse. But so the guy posted yesterday, I posted a picture of my truck, and I was just like, it's when the big block gas motors ruled the world. Gas was under $1 a gallon. And you bought a big block gas truck. You bought a 454 Chevy, or you bought a 464 if you wanted to tow. And immediately this guy jumps on there, and he's like, you might as well do a video. I walked into my bedroom today. I walked out of my bedroom. I walked into my kitchen. I walked out of my kitchen. He's like, stop wasting the internet. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to watch. But so I went, that's why, if you wonder why there's a video up of me walking in my kitchen and my bedroom, that's why, because I don't understand it. If somebody's on one of their channels and they're doing something and I don't like it, I'm just not going to watch. I mean, obviously,
you click the little button with the X.
Does it?
You can click unsubscribe. I mean, we're not forcing anybody to watch us. We're glad, we're grateful that everybody watches us. We're grateful for every subscriber we got. And we look at ourselves as we're equal to every subscriber. We're not better than nobody. We're just idiots out here. We're just dumb enough to put it on video for the world to see. That's all. But you get people on there that really take it serious and take it personal. Like, dude, we were just joking. And I'll drop a couple shorts like that today because I'll do something the lamest thing, and I'll look, and an hour later it'll have 3,000 views, to where I'll try to do something do a serious short and it'll get like 150 views. I'm like, you know, shorts to me are something silly just to get attention. It just, you want to do something silly just to get it out, to get your name out there, you know, and it might attract a few viewers. That air conditioner short you're talking about, we got 1,000 subscribers off of that video.
I'm saying
how, I don't know, because I'd have watched that video. I'm like, I ain't watching no more of these idiots are doing. I'm done. I'm blocking that channel. But hey, people started watching us.
I want to bring up maybe a video series idea.
Okay.
When we do get my Honda,
oh yeah, we're definitely
gonna record ourselves when we put the turbo on it.
Oh yeah, your
Eventually
Honda's going to be a subject.
off.
Your Honda's going to be a subject of a lot of videos because, like I said, you're going to be working on it too. You're going to be learning, you know, how to do it. Of course, I'll help you, but you know.
Do you have the Honda official handbook?
Yeah, right here.
Like when we went to the dealer to see Amanda's car, and there was just a workbook, the book that their guidebook sitting in the passenger seat. Like,
oh, that was a Chilton's manual. You can order those. You know
I mean, like an official Honda.
Anymore, though, I used to have it.
that the mechanics have.
That's how I self-taught everything I done, because when I was your age, I had, like I said, I had an 80 Camaro, and the time it had that's when I remember GM had this bright idea to have these plastic covered timing gears. Why, I don't know, but it was a steel gear, but it had plastic over the teeth. So I got my Camaro, and my dad helped me get it. So, you know, I had no respect for this car, which sucked, but that's how it, unfortunately, if I would have worked more on that car, I would have respected it more. But I didn't. I was 16. I had a Camaro, so I was out. I couldn't leave any stop without doing a burnout. But a couple months went by, and the thing started running bad. It was out of time. So I went over to my uncle, and, you know, I was telling him, well, originally I went to my grandpa because my grandpa was always working on cars, and he knows cars a lot. I went over and asked my grandpa about it, and he's showing me what to do. My uncle gets in there and starts revving the thing up and turning the distributor, and he ended up over revving because it was a high mile 350. He ended up spinning a rod bearing in it and making the motor knock, you know what I mean? And I learned that day, I was like, I'm never going to rely on anybody to work on my car again because, you know, I come for help and it ended up costing me an engine. So I went out that day. I bought the Chilton manual for 1980 Camaro, and I read it cover to cover I don't know how many times. And if I was doing anything, I'd get the book out and I'd read through it. And any car I get, I'd get that book. And I just learned.
What did you say?
I read tech manuals, you know, Super Chevy magazine, everything I could absorb, I would learn. And
on the passenger seat of that car at the dealer,
it was a service manual.
Yeah, I said I need a Honda service manual for the 97 Civic.
Yeah, but
it has like everything. Don't they have like everything that could go wrong with them inside? Like what all the lights mean, what all the codes mean.
No, that stuff now told me.
What one would have what all the codes mean, what all the different lights mean.
That one, the one the guy had in the car.
The one I'm thinking.
Okay, the one the guy had in the car that we seen the other day at the dealership. Okay,
yeah,
that was one you buy at the auto parts store. It was a Chilton manual, which basically there's a company that gives it when a car comes out new, they would go out and buy a car and they'd take it apart and put it back together and document it that way, and it would list all the specs and how to do things. Well, then there's a factory service manual, and that comes from the auto manufacturer. That's the one that tells you everything.
That's the one I want. I want one.
Yeah, but in this day with the internet, Tommy, you don't really need it anymore.
I was gonna say, who am I gonna have to bribe at Honda?
Why is this not? I was trying to get this on the Wi-Fi. Why is the laptop not logging out? They don't even see it. But yeah, Dakota, yeah, you're learning, man. And that's what's cool. Just any advice you ever take from me, is never be afraid to take something apart, man, because that's how you learn.
Okay. Right on,
man. You know what I mean? Don't let that limit your factor. Don't stand there looking at a transmission and be like, oh man, I don't want to take it apart because I might not get it back together. Because you'll eventually FBI van is already.
No, yeah, that's all right.
Okay. You know, because you'll eventually get it back together. You know, you might have to call somebody in to help you a little bit or show you something. But with the internet now, man, you can go on YouTube and watch a video. But, you know, I always look at it, as long as you don't beat that thing apart with a hammer, you'll figure out a way to get it back together. I mean, obviously, if you bust it into 1,000 pieces, it's probably not going to go back together. But just don't let that don't let that fear stop you, because I've seen so many people that I've talked to through the years that would have done good with cars, but they were just afraid to take them apart. Like, dude, let's take it apart. Well, what if I screw it up? Well, then you'll learn next time what you screwed up, and you won't do that again. And it's just so much better that way.
Well, I wonder, how do you get a factory service manual?
You can get a Honda factory service manual, buddy.
Are they for the specific cars, or is it just a general?
They
Honda?
have ones for the specific model.
So I could get one for the 97 Civic and start reading.
Yeah, but like I said, do you really need a service manual for 97 Civic? They're so simple.
Yeah, so I can learn my car.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you, but you can look all that. You can get them manuals online.
Let's see. Let's look it up, shall we?
Hold on. I just finally get the computer working, and I let's look something over. You can look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up on.
Well, as long as I can get my chat, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, you can get your chat on there.
All right, I got chat here. Turn the volume down on this. Yeah. Did you mute it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay, so we got, let's see, Tommy. Buck does it, says hi.
Yeah, I know. I said hi earlier.
Like to say hi to Schultz.
Yeah.
Right.
I tried to squeeze in hi while you were.
While we were talking. But we got Dakota on here, man.
That's right.
I've been trying to get Dakota on here for a couple weeks.
We had 15 watchings.
Yeah, we leveled up tonight. Bad Tree, what's up, Blake?
That's right.
Howdy, howdy. Look, we got Dakota out.
That's right.
Look, Blake, we got Dakota on here.
Well, man, I hate it, but dude, I'm about to have to go. My iPad, it's on 2%.
All right, man. Well, thank you for stopping in, Dakota, and you're welcome on my live anytime, brother, man.
Right on, man.
And I'll send you my number though too, so you can get a hold of me. You got anything transmission questions or something? I'll email you that. All right, man. Well, you have a good night, Dakota. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
All right. Well, we'll see you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. You're welcome, man. Have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.
A 2-volume service manual for my charger off eBay. Best
$80 you ever spent. See, and Colleen knows. You know what I mean?
I wonder how much it costs. Oh, they have Honda, sir.
Yeah, but here's a Honda Civic. Yeah, them were meant, but you want the factory ones actually from Honda.
Workshop manual.
Yeah.
Honda, like this one. Pioneer. This one's $80.
Yeah, well, we'll get it. Like I said, we know most of the stuff, and I don't think anywhere in that book it's going to have a listing for a turbo. Unfortunately, because we're on our own territory at that time. Look what happened where we lost.
$15 for a 96 to 2000 Honda Civic / Del Sol.
Yeah, because yours is what?
Chilton. It's a Chilton.
Chilton ain't bad. The only problem I never liked with Chilton, and I mean, I'm sure most people want to know, in Chilton, you'd get to like something that was complicated, like the transmission.
Yeah.
And when you get to a complicated part of the transmission, it would be like, the automatic transmission. We figured it's out of the scope of them, and we're not going to tell you how to work on it. You know, well, you suck too. I'm going to drop this link again here. That way we got it. Like, copy link. We're getting better at this, Tommy.
I think this is an actual Honda service manual.
Oh, there, I just posted a chat with nothing on it. I just
Honda Civic shop
got ahead of myself. There we go. Yeah, we're getting better at this stuff eventually. We got someone wanting to pop in. Buck does it. Yeah, we'll let him in. Buck's going to jump in. What's up, Buck?
Another YouTube off. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Let me get these set.
I was all confused. Hi,
What's
Sam.
happening,
Hi, Tommy.
man? Thanks for stopping in.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I was just going through. I just got up out of my slumber. I had to take an afternoon nap.
Oh,
And,
man. I was dragging earlier right about as it was getting dark. I felt that I was like, or about 6:30, and I was like, man, I need to lay down too. But I was like, but I'm scheduled to go live at 7:30, so I have to push through it for a little bit. Haynes manual. Yeah, Haynes manual never told you much either.
I think I found a like actual Honda shop manual from Honda themselves.
Yeah, well, you're good, Tommy. I've learned enough now. I can help you with pretty much anything.
Do you think this looks like an actual?
Yeah, that
Civic
looks like it.
service
Yeah,
manual?
that's the Civic Service
Like,
manual.
Put it up to your camera.
Yeah, maybe to my potato. We got to get that other camera set up with a mic better. That way we can do this better. That way we can like do a green screen like we're at a racetrack or something.
It's only 95.
So how's your week
39.
going this week, Buck? You get all
Oh,
settled
pretty
in
good.
after No Name?
What's that?
You get all settled in, and everybody was rushing with last week. You get everything settled in and back to normal.
Well, I was on vacation before I went to No Name, so I was set up a week ahead of time. I was saying last night that once I got my car running, I left it alone because we were just wanted to go down the track one time if that be, and that was it. And
yeah, that's
so,
cool. Yeah.
There was no thrashing or anything for me. I took it off the trailer and then left it sit there till Saturday, and then me and JB raced.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, car wise, we were good. Call Amanda. But yeah, car wise, we were good. The only real issue we had was just logistically at getting there. That was all the stress on ours. Was getting there, because we had to ended up borrowing a truck and renting a trailer, and all that. So.
Well, I rented a trailer too, but I had the truck.
Yeah, well, I ended up borrowing my boss's truck, but because, like I said, my truck really ain't been running the last 3 years other than just hauling firewood and stuff. Let me see for a second.
Which way did you come down through? Ohio.
Well, we come down. We left out of Pennsylvania. We went through West Virginia to Kentucky. We drove across Kentucky into Missouri.
Okay, because that's the way I went home. I live in eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and that's how we come back the other way. We come up. What was it, Tony?
64, wasn't it?
We went
64 up to 70.
No,
yeah,
57 up to 70.
All the way up to 70. Okay.
50s up to 70.
Yeah,
so
we
79. Come up to 79.
After 70, we got up to 64 because we were on like.
Yeah,
the
well, we come 70 and we come
around
down. We got off the
Indianapolis.
Smithton exit straight to our house that way because we was pushed for time. Because see, Tommy had to go. He's got like a weekly visitation with his mom that he got to go like from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on every Sunday.
All right.
And it was one of them things she wasn't gonna let him out of it. In fact, we had to be at the courthouse Monday morning because we had another where she was complaining saying I don't let him go and I don't make him. He's 16 years old. If he wants to go visit his mom, he can. If he don't want to, I don't want to make him go. I mean, I wouldn't make him come see me if he didn't want to. That's just going to make him hate me for forcing him to do it. But nonetheless, that's why we had to leave because I would have loved to have been able to stay Saturday night and hang out with everybody. But like literally as soon as the awards were over, though, we threw everything in the truck and we just cannonballed to make it. We made it back home at like 10:30 a.m. Sundays. And at that point, we've been up since 7 a.m. Saturday morning. I ended up finally, after I dropped him off and come back and didn't lay down to take a nap till probably 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So.
And I didn't fall asleep.
And he didn't go to sleep. Yeah, till he got back from her house. It was probably 6:30 or so when he finally went to bed.
I fell asleep around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I woke up at 8 a.m. on Monday morning.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, it was bad because as we come through, when we was in Ohio, literally after we got through, when was it, Tommy?
Indiana.
No, in Ohio. Springfield.
Yeah.
Once we got through Springfield, Ohio, man, I was getting so tired that every rest stop, I was stopping, going in and running water over my head.
Yeah.
And coming out in just a t-shirt, and letting that cold air. And I'm like, Tommy, you got to stay awake and talk to me. I mean, I hate driving that tired, but like I said, we had no choice but to get here.
To get there, yeah. Well, I left early Saturday too because of family issues. And, but I wanted to be home for Monday. I had a lot of things to do Monday.
Yeah.
And, so I didn't get home till Sunday night around 7.
Yeah.
And I left, what I did is I drove from Sykeston all the way up to on the other side of Lexington, Kentucky,
here sooner,
and got a hotel and then stayed till the next day.
Yeah.
But it still took me all that time to get home.
Yeah, that's a long haul that way. Like when we come through, the only thing I didn't like that was really sketchy about that trip in Kentucky was on I-69. They got the traffic there, and there's no barrier there. And I always hate that because I'm thinking about trucks blowing steer tires because I've been around them my whole life. And we're running there and you got nothing but them little flimsy reflectors in the middle and traffic running the other way at 70. And I'm like, man, I hate this. There's a barrier there. It ain't so bad. But I've seen trucks shoot across, 3 lanes in the median when they lose a steer tire. And I'm like, we got to get off this single road as fast as we can because I'm just not comfortable driving on it.
Yeah, Paducah, Kentucky, and Lexington, Kentucky were the
Another
worst.
thing I didn't like were the gas prices in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember coming through Paducah. Or then we crossed, what was it, 62 when we crossed that little bridge?
Yeah, yep.
You went back over, you crossed that little rickety bridge on the Mississippi, then you cut through the tip of Illinois and then back into Kentucky.
Yeah, welcome to Illinois. Welcome to Missouri.
Yeah, that was pretty wild though, because that's our first time we ever made it that far west. So. Oh,
really? No,
I've been all up down the East Coast, but that's the furthest west I've been. That's the first time across the Mississippi. So.
Now the only state I haven't been in is Oregon. I've been in all of them. Tractor trailer though, it was all interstate. But still, I've been all around the country and.
Oh, that's cool. Most have been off down the coast.
But now that I'm older, I can't travel as long. I usually stop like every 2 hours to 3 hours and just like a rest area, just go take a walk.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Hey, it's crazy. It creeps up on you before you notice it with things like that. I used to just, to leave out of here and drive straight through to Florida, no big deal. But now it's.
Well, I used to do that for my buddy's dad. He worked Secret Service and he was retired and he was getting older. He didn't want to drive anymore. So I used to drive his car to Florida and fly home. And then in the springtime, I would fly to Florida and drive his car home. And I'd do that all it was 1,800 miles. I do that in the weekend.
And one thing I noticed when we were driving through Illinois and the gas prices were like $4.10 a gallon, we stopped at a Love's and we fueled up, and that barely lasted us anything.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
the Love's gas went down so quickly.
We got at that Love's. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with it because we was averaging 250 miles a tank full.
And then
we barely got. Then we got gas at that Love's, man. And we only got maybe. I don't even know if we got 200 out of that.
Maybe not even 100 or something. And then we stopped in Illinois again at a Speedway in Illinois. It was the same price, but that got us clear in halfway through Ohio from.
Yeah, I mean, you notice little things like that, but he's traveled tractor trailer. He knows all about that.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking about that today. That one tank full. My truck is diesel. That one tank full of diesel, I only got like 13 miles a gallon, and all the other, with towing the car, all the other ones I was getting 15.
Yeah.
Even the last one on the way home, I got 15.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not for a 1-ton Ford diesel.
Yeah. What do you got? Is it 7.3 or?
No, that's the 6.0.
Oh, the 6.0, man. I love the way that motor sounds. I wish, they would I wish they wouldn't have been rushed to production so much with that motor that they could have had most of the bugs worked out because that motor, of all the Ford diesels, that one sounds the best. When it's up on the pipe, I think sounds so good.
Well, that one's been bulletproof. Well, I'd say bullet. The only thing it don't have is the oil cooler and the antifreeze filter. But the EGR delete is done. The heads are. He said the heads are O-ringed and they're studded.
Yeah.
So that was 115,000 miles ago that happened. So
the biggest issue I seen with them that I've noticed so much working on them 6.0s, I've had a couple friends had them. We ended up putting cams in them. Was for some reason that first push rod was just a little bit too long and it bottoms that lifter out and eventually it wipes the roller out on them.
Yeah.
And then they updated them. I know, like when they do the bulletproof kits and stuff, like you were talking, they end up putting the 6.4 push rods in them, and it seems to fix the problem.
Okay. Yeah, I've knock on wood. I've had pretty good luck with that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure yours has been addressed when they bulletproof, but I mean, that motor, once you take care of it, though, that's a good motor.
Oh, that thing's it does have the Bank 6-gun tuner in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's decent.
I don't use it much.
Yeah, we ran that V10 down there. And I think 70 kind of hurts you. You know how that goes. But if you don't go 70 anymore, you'll get run over on the interstate.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's the reality of it.
I kept looking in the rear view mirror to see any cars back there, and I saw a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on the U-Haul trailer.
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, well, that's what we were pretty much. We had cruise control set at like 70. We ended up though. I mean, it ain't bad. We averaged about 12 miles a gallon on the trip, so that's not too bad for a 20-year-old truck. You know what I mean, with a V10. So
I know something you would like. The adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, I do like
the radar
adaptive. Yeah, I
guided.
do like the adaptive. It's nice when you're in traffic because I like cruise control, but then again, I don't like cruise control when it causes them big, especially with a 4-speed automatic, because it causes them big downshifts. I never did like that. Because, you know, when you're driving, you can anticipate you're coming up on a hill, so you roll into the throttle a little sooner to keep some momentum up, where that cruise control don't. It waits till it needs it, then it'll drop all the way from overdrive to second. I never did like that. But
Also, I learned that you're not supposed to put regular 87 in the
yeah,
Triton
that's what they
V10s.
say.
We learned that you're supposed to. Are you supposed to put plus or ultra?
Well, it doesn't say. It doesn't say that. Usually, when they say they're supposed to take it, usually it says put plus on the fuel thing by the gauge.
I was gonna say, because a lot of people say you can get away with 87, but a lot of people
The truck
also say
ran fine on 87.
I mean, it did feel a bit off.
Well, no, I know the other thing I noticed every once in a while, at the right point under the right load, you could get it to ping a little bit. You'd hear it.
Maybe
but when it would do it, I would lift out of it and just let it settle in.
Maybe.
It's probably what it is, but I just wrote it off and maybe carbon deposit or something. The motor has 100 and some thousand miles on it, so I figured that get a little bit of carbon build up on the valves and make them pig. But yeah,
well, Colleen, I didn't accidentally hit 90. I hit 90. Wasn't much because I didn't want the ticket.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I traveled home about 70, 75, 80 most of the way.
Yeah, that's about. We ran about 70, 75 home.
Right.
So we had ways running, and we got into. When we got into Springfield there, that's when they had the interstate shut down because there was
all 3 lanes.
There was a wrong way driver caused a head-on collision. Luckily, though, I guess everybody lived, so that's good. But it shut down because we're coming into Springfield, and Tommy's like, "All them brake lights ain't moving." I was like, yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, we were coming up. We were far enough away where we could have got around if we hit the exit. But I noticed all the brake lights, and I was like, "Do you see all that red up there?"
Yeah,
and you said it's probably rush hour because you didn't think it was Sunday.
I was tired that one. Yeah, I didn't realize. No,
I didn't realize either.
Yeah, it's Sunday at 3:30 in the morning.
No, it was more like it was 5. It was 5 in the morning.
By then.
Yeah, it was around rush hour time. So we figured it was rush hour, and then we got into it, and I was like, well. I don't think rush hour traffic would be a standstill in the interstate. Maybe in Pittsburgh, maybe on the turnpike getting into Pittsburgh, you would see standstill during rush hour. But I don't think driving on 70, you're going to see rush hour, especially in a smaller town like Springfield. You're not going to see standstill. Then I look on Waze, and then there's this little icon of a car crash report, and it's reported by Ohio DOT.
They want me to wait.
It said there was a car crash.
I told him not to.
And by that point, we were past the exit, so we couldn't get off the interstate and try to get around it. So we had to wait there until they directed traffic onto the shoulder. And
luckily, though, we
didn't
have to wait that long. That only cost.
I mean, that shaved off a lot. We could have got there.
Yeah, it cost us like 20 minutes. It didn't cost us that much. Just me stopping every rest area to run water on my head cost us more time than anything, but I had to do it. We couldn't figure that out. We must have come too. I mean, I don't know the ELDs. I've never seen so many trucks parked on our way home coming up that way in the middle of the night, like at every rest stop.
We got to Illinois.
Yeah, we got every truck stop or every rest area was full. They were up the exit ramps on both sides of the truck stop.
They were on the side of the road, and this was at every single off ramp, every single rest stop, and they were all so many trucks pouring out of it. At first.
You'll always see that a lot on the weekend. Trucks getting close to their destination. You know, them may be an hour out from where they have to go, and then that's where they'll pull over. They rush to get close. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I figured it had to do with that, and then with their hours and stuff with the ELDs.
At first, I honestly thought that they were all going on strike, part of a union, because it seemed like a weird coincidence that so many trucks would hit their hours at the exact same time.
What he says makes sense.
Yeah, I understand now.
Where they're going that way,
but like then, it didn't feel like. So I thought they were going on strike. I thought there was a trucker strike.
Yeah, luckily,
and then some of them guys know when they need to get there early, so they get.
Yeah.
So they'll get there Saturday instead of Sunday.
Yeah. See, I don't know. My friend, he runs triaxles in his trucking company, but luckily he's local, so he doesn't have to have the electronic logs. So I'm not real familiar. I know that changed a lot into it, but I really haven't been much into with the trucking since they went to those. So remember the old days of 2 log books.
Oh yeah.
You know, when most of my friends that drove, but
you know, that was the late 80s, early 90s when I was out there.
Yeah, it was definitely changed.
Passenger.
Well, you had, I mean, I don't know now for the price of fuel and what these shippers, the way they push, honestly, I feel so bad for these guys that have trucks, man. It's
especially owner-operators, too.
Oh, they're killing them, man.
I know, and diesel really hasn't dropped that much like gasoline did.
It's still it was $5.09 per gallon of diesel when we're rolling through Illinois.
Yeah, our gasoline's back up to $4 a gallon here again. Yeah, well, he's in PA too, eh? Buck, you're in PA.
Yep. I'm over in above Lebanon.
Yeah, okay. So you feel the pain with us. You know how that is.
Yeah, it's 495 or 505 or something here. The paid on the whole trip was like $449, and I believe that was in Tennessee.
Yeah, we hit that one. Well, we hit that one station, Tommy. Remember in Kentucky?
In Kentucky, right before we crossed the Ohio River, it was literally right before we got to cross it. It was $3.19 a gallon.
Yeah, that was nice. Then we got down there and I see an E85 under $3.
It was like $2.70 something. I was like, what?
Yeah. I just got gas in my car yesterday, and it was $3.70.
Yeah, last night it was $3.99.
It's $3.99 here still. The highest it got here during the huge rise in Gonzo, it got to $5.09 a gallon.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
That is the newest high, because before it was like the high here, the highest price it ever hit here wasn't even $4 a gallon.
Yeah, I remember.
Before that, it was like $3.75 when in 2011 or something.
Yeah, but you got to factor in the inflation and everything.
Yeah,
it's just like I said, it's really hurting them because I know the whole idea was to drain the strategic reserve to try to keep the price down before election, but that's kind of coming back to bite them now. But we shouldn't have to be begging Saudi Arabia for oil, though, man, considering how much we have in the ground here in our great country.
Yep. But somebody has a better idea.
Yeah, and these self-righteous people, like I said, electric cars are cool because they're fast. I like that novelty of it, but I couldn't imagine on a trip like we just had to go there, like was that Hooves channel where he towed with that F-150. He was getting like 90 miles on the charge.
Oh my God.
That'd be fun to go to Sykeston.
I said next time we go on a road trip, just in a car, if we're not towing anything, if we're just taking a car and it's just us, I said we should ask Tad if we could take the Tesla to see what it's actually like firsthand, the road trip in an electric car before we bash on it. I feel like we should experience it and try it and see what it's like first.
It's not that though, Tony, but it's reality of it.
We'll experience the reality of it.
Yeah, the reality is you have to wait to charge the battery. How quick can we pump 25, 30 gallons of fuel in the truck versus how quick you got to wait on the battery?
I mean, they reduced the wait times on the batteries a lot.
I know they reduced the wait times a lot, but it's not there yet.
We're looking for superchargers. We're not stopping at, the local businesses that have those slow chargers. We want superchargers.
Yeah, I understand that, but you got to let the market deal with it. When that car is ready, if the time ever comes that an electric car outperforms the internal combustion engine, when that time comes, people will automatically flock to them. You don't need the government to force people to buy them. You don't need to ban this. You don't need to add
Right.
incentives to that. When the
Yeah.
market, when it becomes a better option, people
I seen
they didn't ban horses and buggies, did they? When the car
it
came
just
out,
phased
no,
out.
because people realized the
I
car is
seen-
better.
A top comment on an electric car video. They're saying that they didn't hate electric vehicles, but they said once the day comes that there's chargers at the frequency of gas stations
Yeah.
and the electrical grid can handle it.
Yeah, then it may
Then-
work.
And it costs the same price to get one, then it's going to make no sense to pick one over the other.
Yeah.
And then eventually the market's just
Yeah.
going to decide.
Well, the same way like that though, Tommy. I don't like when I get someone on the internet and they're bashing me because my car burns fuel, and they're better than me because they drive an electric car. But you got a coal powered car, buddy. And how much pollution. My car was made. My car is 40 years old. Any carbon footprint it had, it long outlasted its lifespan. So that's a moot point at this point.
Yeah.
Us keeping old stuff around is probably better for the environment than any of the
Well,
new
look at
manufactured stuff.
it this way: the Earth takes everything back anyway. I mean,
Yes, it will.
if you
Yep.
let your car sit out in the field, it's going to rust and go right back into the earth.
Yep.
So where do you think
Yep.
all that carbon that's in the air is going? It's going back. Where did it come from? It came from the earth.
It
Where's
came
it
from
going to
the
go?
earth,
It's
and
going to go back
it's
into
going
the earth.
right. Yep, it's going right back into the plants. You know what I mean? Because that's the
if we were
trees
hurting
and
it-
plants is absorbing that carbon because that's what they thrive on.
If whatever we were doing was hurting the earth, it would shake us off and eliminate us
Yeah.
faster than we
Yeah.
could blink.
Yeah, like I said,
And
the climate works in cycles. So yeah, technically it's kind of
there
changing.
is warming and there is cooling. It's a natural cycle.
They changed they're taking temperature readings now from the tarmac of the airport instead of the grass like they used to. So that's going to give you a big increase in temperature. And and the thing of it is, why are people being so arrogant to think that we can affect something? Like I said, we're part of the earth, but we're not. There's no way. Tornadoes wipe us out every day. Hurricanes wipe us out. Earthquakes, volcanoes, all that wipes us out. But yet we're going to be arrogant enough that we're somehow, causing the oceans to rise. And while they tell us that, they're buying beachfront houses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. But
No,
just try to-
some of the stuff we put out there is probably hurting, but and
Yeah.
if you look from the 70s on to today, the way they've controlled the environment or the emissions from vehicles.
yeah,
Years
they're
ago,
cool.
you get behind a '69 Camaro, you can smell that fuel.
Yep.
And you get
Oh,
you get behind a 2012 say Ford Edge or something, you can't smell it.
Yeah. Well,
And even the 2017 to 2020 cars and
Yeah.
stuff, even though they're gas powered, you barely hear them. Like
Yeah.
they roll up in a driveway and you're not
Yeah,
listening
but you're-
out for it. You don't even know they're there.
And like here's the thing, like like they're giving these people hard times now with like emissions and stuff even on older cars. Now, here's the thing: if they were truly concerned about the environment, pull it into the shop, do the sniff test on the tailpipe, and tell me what it's putting out. If it passes, it shouldn't matter how you make it pass, as long as it passes. If that's what they were worried about. They're worried about the money they make from the manufacturers that's making this emissions equipment. Because I seen years ago there was an article like I was in like Hot Rod magazine where they said a properly tuned '69 Camaro was able to pass the emission standards of that year, as long as it was maintained and tuned right. It burned clean enough that you didn't have a problem with it. That's our county here now because we're in Fayette County. We're in the lower, poverty counties, so we don't have the plug-in emissions. We just have the visual inspection here.
Right, that's all I had up in Schuylkill County when I lived up there. But down here in Lebanon, it's emissions. I got to go get tested.
Yeah,
And my sister, since
But
doesn't
my
she
diesel,
technically
is exempt.
yeah.
That's-
What year? 2006 or something is when they started on the diesels.
I don't remember when it was, but at over 9,000 pounds, they're exempt.
Yeah, I remember the days. I remember in the '90s having a a 78 Ram Charger. It was like 6,001 and it was exempted over 6,000 pounds.
I was gonna say, my sister, she technically lives in Westmoreland County.
Yeah,
So she has to have her vehicle inspected in Westmoreland, and they do the plug-in emissions.
Yeah,
They'll
that's what
fail
he
it
does.
just by having
Yeah,
the
that's where he
engine light
lives,
on and
yeah.
stuff.
That's where Buck lives. He's the same thing. You got to
Yeah.
deal with it. And then new cars. I mean, there you go. Amanda, her car right now, it's at the shop getting the motor replaced, the 2017, because it's burning the quart of oil every 400 miles.
My
so.
sister's needs to go to the
Your
shop. because the
sister's a turbo 2017 car, turbo out. Meanwhile, my 40-year-old car runs and drives fine
Why is the check engine light on in the cop car?
because it's an oil pressure sensor. I need to go in and turn it off in the
You
computer.
can clear it.
I can HP Tunes.
Will it come back on?
HP Tunes. I can shut that code off so it won't.
Oh, so it'll only come on for a new code.
Yeah, it will. No, I can turn it off so it doesn't trip the light on that code. Because it's not an emission.
I mean, if it's a new code, like if a new error comes up,
Yeah.
that would trip the light. It would come
That
on.
light's on now. It's oil pressure
Yeah.
sensor.
So if
But
something,
the car obviously
but
has oil pressure.
I was gonna say, if you cleared it or if you stopped that code from triggering the light, it would only come back on if a new
Yeah.
code came up that would trigger the light.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with
That is
HP Tunes.
something
You can
else.
go and you can shut all of them off.
Also, so when you have a solid check engine light, it means there's a minor problem.
Yeah,
more
when it
minor.
flashes.
When it flashes, that means there's a major misfire.
Well, the
now,
re-
does it only
Yeah, you
flash
can-
during the misfire, or does it flash the whole time?
It'll flash when the misfire's going on. When
Okay.
what that's for,
It's to keep
if you're
catalytic
dumping raw
converter.
fuel in the converter, yeah, you'll melt the converter down because that converter's hot enough. Because basically what happens is the guts of that converter get hot enough that
That'll
when the
burn the
exhaust,
gas.
yeah, when it passes through, it burns off.
See, in that
Extra.
truck that my mother has, like the light is solid a lot until the engine starts going under a heavier load, like going up a hill,
Yeah,
and then
when
it'll
it
start
misfires,
flashing
it
at
flashes
you.
because that's to warn you that you're going to damage the converter if you keep running with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he's gonna have to fix it, but good luck with that.
It's the same
They'll
guy
probably make it
never
worse.
adjusted the carburetor on that Nova after 10 years.
He'll probably make it worse.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, I'm going to go.
All
I
right.
just
Well,
wanted to
thank you,
stop and
Buck.
say hi again, and
Yeah. Oh, we appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
we'll see you again somewhere along the line.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
we do a little bit on Tuesday night now. We're gonna do a little bit on Sunday night every night. So anytime
Work
we're on,
second
you're
shift,
welcome.
so I don't get to go on and during the week, but on the weekends, sometimes I have time.
Yeah,
Look
well,
at my phone.
like I said, you're welcome anytime, man. We're glad to have you. So
All right, well,
take
thank you,
care.
Sam.
We'll-
See you, Tommy.
yeah, well, take
I'm
care,
out.
buddy. Yep.
Bye,
Later.
everybody.
Oh, we got Sand Mountain Ballistics. We got all kinds of people in here tonight. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, buddy. But it's other than that, that was good. We got Dakota on there for the first time. We had Dakota on alive. That's different. And we're glad. Thank you, Dakota, for popping in, buddy. We appreciate it. But yeah, Tommy went to get his phone. Anybody else out there tonight want to pop in and say hi? I will drop a link. We're having nice fun tonight. Yeah, we're getting a little bit better at this. See, guys, I guess if you work at it long enough, you'll eventually get it. Work at it long enough, you'll get it. There we go. That's great. Did it post? No. It didn't post. See, we screwed it up. Every time I think I did, it didn't. All right, there we go. Yeah, now we got it. Wonderful. We're all good in the hood now. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we were working tomorrow. We got to go to the junkyard. So I'm going to make some video of that tomorrow. I'm going to go to the local U-Pull-It, walk around. I got to get a coil spring. Never seen a coil spring break in half in the middle without us heating it up or anything. But for some reason, one of that Monte Carlo just snapped. So I got to go grab a coil spring and I got to grab some injectors for it. It'll be up and running. Then we can worry about it because, as you see, Tommy's really excited to get his Honda up and going, and well, to get it here and start working on it. Which I can't fault him though. I got to be proud of him. He wants the Honda here so he can drive a stick shift. He wants to get out and get practicing, so. I don't know if we'll be a pro, Schultz, but we'll be something. Professional idiots, we're good at that. So yeah, other than that, did you get a chance, Dwayne, that truck? Are you gonna go look at that then this week? Just let me know when you want to go. I mean, we'll have to see if it's I didn't catch what year it was. If it doesn't have a BCM, you can swap it over to a manual without changing stuff. If it's new enough that it has a body control module, we can still do it. We just got to change a few more things. But in all honesty, if it's just lost reverse, it's probably just them got them bonded pistons on the reverse pistons on that. That's the 4R100. Then it has a bonded piston on it. So we could just put an overhaul kit in that transmission, honestly, and get away with it for a long time. Yeah, this weekend, okay. 2002, yeah. 2002, Dwayne. You sure about that? That'll be alright, buddy. Is Tommy coming back, or he didn't say? He walked off. He said he was going to get his phone. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, what do you got to do? I got to go pee, so I need somebody to come in and relieve me for a second so I can use the bathroom.
I'm coming back. I just had to get something. Yeah.
Alright, well, you can relieve me for a second while I use the restroom.
Well, we're going to be wrapping it up here soon, aren't we?
Well, we're going for a little bit. We've been on some stuff first.
Well, no, because
I can't. You don't have to. I need to. What? What is it?
I was going to say you could get a store and then out into town, remember?
What you get it?
You don't remember what I told you when I got in the car earlier today? You said we would. You told me, no, you told me you would tonight. Weekend 2022. Weekend 2000. What?
I gotta pee.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You gotta talk. You're live.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you gotta talk to somebody. Say hello to everybody. Do something. Just entertain
I was-
folks. We can't have dead air.
Yeah.
Hey, Cat, why are you attacking me?
Let's see.
Tell everybody what you think about your Honda, what your plans are.
Well, we don't have the Honda yet
What you want.
because we need
First you need to make
we
the
need
Honda.
Alex to bring it, and he's being slower than the USPS.
What?
I said he's being slower than the USPS. So that gives everyone an idea how slow he's being in getting it. Once we get it, then we have to. It needs the engine rebuilt because it's burning oil. Well, it's leaking oil and burning it, and well, it burns it when it leaks it, right? It has a problem with oil. It loses its oil. You can't keep oil in it. It's a pretty big oil leak. We need to we need to rebuild it. That's the motor needs rebuilt. It's a pretty bad oil leak.
We're gonna rebuild it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
poured out.
I know we are going to. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we're gonna rebuild it. It's poured out.
And it
The
needs.
truck should know too. I don't know. He said this weekend. He said 2002. I thought we was traveling back in time.
I was gonna say. It needs a new clutch too. The clutch is pretty bad in it. My dad says we're putting a stage 2 clutch in it. I don't know what that means, but
It was stage 1. Just stage 2.
and Then eventually we want to K swap it, but that costs a lot of money. So we're gonna modify. We're gonna put a turbo on the D series first.
We're gonna put a turbo on the D series
Yeah.
first because you need to learn how to drive.
It needs a flux capacitor. It needs a flux capacitor. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna turbo the D series first, and then
Our friend Josh,
eventually we're gonna.
our friend Josh Addis had that Honda Civic. It was like your year. It was in your year. It was a 98 2001 Civic. What is that, a 6th gen? I think
Mine's
it's a
a
6.
97.
Yeah, well, yeah, but 96. I mean, 96 to 2001. I think they're a 6th gen. They're 5th or 6th gen. I think it's a 6th gen. But he had that, and he had a K swap. It had the K24 bottom end with the K20 head, because the K20 head has dual VTEC. It's got variable valve timing on the intake and exhaust. So that makes it better. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Your VTEC can kick in, yo.
Yeah.
But-
VTEC.
You text him, pick it up.
I'll text him and see if he's.
Yeah, text him and see if he's on. But the thing with the dual VTEC is that fine. Alice had that K series in there, and then he had that big turbo in there. That car made what, 800 horsepower? I said, yeah, it was 800 horsepower. How much was it? If that lights up red, mommy, it's you'll see down
Under where?
Yeah, right there at guest. It'll
Okay.
light up if somebody wants to pop in. We're dropping down 14 on it. Much close.
Yeah.
Over guests.
I mean, it's getting about late. We were on since 7:30.
Yeah. Wonderful. But no, so the Honda will be on our schedule. Another thing we're gonna do, we're twin turbo.
We have a lot of stuff.
We gotta get a tow rig. We're going to No Name Nationals next year.
You need something to tow. Preferably come and swap the
Motorhome. Well,
motorhome.
we gotta find a company
Yeah.
that we can afford without selling
Without
or sold.
getting a second mortgage on the house.
Or selling or sold.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think a second mortgage on the house would even be enough.
I heard kidneys sell for $230,000.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah, but
and you only need one of those.
remember your sister said about selling the kidney though. Remember what your sister said?
You're gonna get stabbed and
She said
the
if
other
she
one on
sold
the
a
way
kidney
out.
and the minute she walks out of the hospital, someone's gonna stab her in the kidney. Who wrote?
I know that oil boy. Is what Hijack said.
Joe Jack.
Oh, Jack. He's talking about how it's complaining about it leaking oil everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it does leak oil.
That doesn't also overheat.
No.
Which one was that? That it would
Well, it
leak
had,
all of its antifreeze
it
and
had
had
a-
to pour water in
it
it.
had a cooling issue that night. That's the night your sister drove it with no cooling in it. Halfway from Latrobe to here. It was cold out there. So. I just hope the body ain't all rotted up. Dog, get away from the tripod. Or it'll be euthanized. I'll take you to the shelter tomorrow.
It'll buff out.
Hey, dogs.
Eyes moving it, eyes adjusting.
I know, but no, I mean, we got to do that. Dixie, stop it, go. Hit the tripod, you idiot. Or we're gonna get your car. We gotta get. We're still. How are we gonna do that, Colin? We're gonna have a lot of equipment to take. No name. You're gonna take your car? Probably.
Yeah.
If it's boosted, right? Because wouldn't it be fun to take a 4-cylinder next year that you can outrun most of the V8s with?
Probably. It might.
It's got to run at least.
Just make it air cooled, Dwayne says.
No.
No.
What do we got it run? Honestly, what do you want your Honda to run? Because you want to keep it streetable. So I mean, realistically, you're probably going to be like, I'd say tens is about the best you're going to be able to go on the street.
An eighth?
No, in a quarter.
Oh, quarter tens.
So that should
That's
be
not
sixes and the eighth. Basically, as fast as the Cutlass is now.
Okay. And it's going to be way lighter too.
Yeah, so it would take less power to do that. Probably 300 horsepower in a 350.
What if we made? Didn't you say about the transmission run out though? If we make too much
The
power.
transmissions start becoming an issue over 600.
Okay. So
That's where, so we'll keep it under that. That's where the issue comes in with transmission. Above 600 horsepower.
and I'm gonna have to be. I mean, I want to say I'm not gonna be able to let my friends drive it. They don't know how to drive a stick shift. No, no.
I mean, why do you guys fear this? It's not.
I
hard.
don't fear
I
it.
know
My
you don't.
friends do
Why?
that
Why?
because they're like it's Gen Z. They're worse than the millennials.
It's not voodoo black
They
magic.
look at a stick shift, and there's been people who tried to steal cars, but they couldn't steal the car because it was a stick shift.
It's not voodoo black magic though.
People act like it is.
An automatic transmission is way more complicated inside than a manual.
Yeah, but it's more convenient for them apparently. My friend will be like, "Hey, can I drive your car?" And I'll be like, "Good luck. Here's keys. Have fun. Good luck."
But if you're
They'll
like
get in. They'll get in the car and they'll look at it and be like, "Tommy, where's the drive? Where's? What do you mean it's not in park? It's in neutral. How do I unpark it?"
Tommy, I legitimately one time we was hanging out at Sweet Peas, and there was a kid standing there, and he walks in, he looked at my truck, looks at me all serious, he says, "Why does it have two shifters?" Now you know why there's two shifters, right? Obviously.
Because it's manual.
And
There's. Did he think the parking brake was a shifter?
no,
No. Oh yeah, because you have one for high, one for low, right?
four drive.
Yeah.
Drive shift. And remember the Toyota, Dwayne's Toyota, remember it had three shifters.
And the big trucks have like 3 too.
Well, yeah, but the Toyota set up because it had the dual transfer cases, so it had the high-low box, and then it had high-low and 2 and 4 on the other shifter, and then it had transmission. So you had transmission, high-low, 2 and 4. And you could twin stick at it, so you could have 4 shifters. You could have, the 5 gears,
4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive,
That's what Dwayne said.
high and low, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I feel like if my friends had asked to drive my car, so I could say what, because theirs is broken down or something. And when I hand them the keys, they're gonna get in, and they're not gonna know what to do. How do I take this thing out apart? What do you mean it's in neutral?
It's this third pedal. It's an on and off switch. So basically what you do is you take that pedal, you put it to the floor. You take your gas,
And they're gonna be like, "That's way too many instructions. You just
put-
drive."
you put the shifter in first.
How do I do that?
Clutch to the floor. Gas to the floor. Sidestep the clutch and you'll go. It'll go. And it won't stall.
They'll be like, "Tommy, that's way too many instructions." Or
I
don't
gotta
have to
teach.
drive."
I gotta teach you how to come out of first spin and hit second and keep it spinning, and chirp when you shift to third. I'll teach you how to shift.
Dixie, what are you doing?
I'll teach you how to chirp it into third or second too every time when you're just cruising down the road. You can just pull out of here and be like,
We need a SD card that might to USB adapter too.
yeah. I told
So I
everybody who was working on it.
I want to.
Did you?
Okay, so technical. This is technical here. To get the videos on my computer to edit them, I have to take them off the camera.
I know.
So I could do it
Fix it.
just simple. plug in the camera to the
I
computer,
did.
and transfer the files over from the camera to the computer. The reason I don't want to do that, or I don't like doing that, I should say, is because it is very slow. It is painfully slow.
Okay, so you can't.
So, because of the camera limitation. So I
Okay.
suggested we take a USB to USB adapter, plug it into the computer,
Okay.
and then we'll get a higher transfer speed from the SD card alone.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do tonight is we don't have
Get
that.
the sideways foot down pat.
And since we don't have that tonight,
I'm gonna have to do it the hard
you
way.
can just plug it in and tell it to download the files, right?
Yeah.
And just go to bed. Do like we used to do when we had to download a song.
Yeah.
You get
And
on.
hope the transfer process doesn't.
Oh, it would. But you get on BearShare and you would, start downloading the song and you just go
We
to bed.
didn't have 1 gigabit internet connections back in
No, we had.
the 90s.
I had a 17.5 modem. Kilobit.
And you, yeah, I had to use the phone.
It was like.
You mean you're telling me you had to use the phone to connect to the internet?
And then you get your music started. And
So how would you call people if you were
you
on the
couldn't.
internet?
You couldn't.
So what if like what if you needed to use the internet but your parents were on the phone?
You had to wait till they weren't on the phone, unless you could get a separate line put in for internet. That was expensive. It cost like $30 more a month.
That's only $30 a month.
No, that was a lot. When gas is $1 a gallon, minimum wage is $5 an hour.
You mean minimum wage is less than $7.25 an hour?
Yeah.
How much was the new cars? Like
I don't know.
in '97, if you wanted to go to the lot and roll off in a '97, in 1997,
I don't know. I
how
wish
much
I
would it
didn't
cost you?
know. I didn't know that they were still selling Samurais brand new in '95.
Yeah.
Because I would have bought one. They were like $8,000 out the door.
But how much would it have been? Say it was 1997.
Yeah.
You want to like a brand new '97, a Ford or a Honda or something. You want to go to the dealership and roll off with the '97 in '97. How much would it cost you?
Probably about 12, 14 grand, depending on how fancy it was.
So like if you had the extended edition with all the fancy bells and whistles in it,
It might be 14,000. Inflation. But no, here's what we do. I mean, my computer, Tommy,
yeah,
because that was the other problem with the computers, they didn't have the memory. So you could only download so many songs. You could download like 3 or 4 songs in your hard drive,
yeah.
and then you had to, send them out
Well,
with different media.
my solid state drive is almost full. It only has 100 and some gig. It only has like 128 gigabytes left.
Yeah. Well,
It has about 1 Galaxy left.
games take a
A
lot
lot,
of
they
memory,
do. Yes.
and they're getting bigger every time they come out.
Mm-hmm. I'd say 12 grand basic, Dwayne said.
Yeah, as I said, in the '90s they were still pretty cheap. They didn't really get ridiculous until recently, after the crash of
emissions.
08, and that's when it started.
But yeah, I only have like 128 gigs left, so I might be able to download all the videos. Hopefully, I will.
Yeah, I know you will, because there's not more than
That,
64 gigs.
well, when I install the videos, my drives pop.
Um,
I have 1.5 terabytes total in my computer, and I need more.
They told me the 2 SD cards I give you are only 32 because
They're only 32 each.
Yeah, and the one's full, and the one isn't full.
So I was gonna say I need another drive.
We need an external drive that we can download a video with.
I only like $70.
We like like I had to.
3. Yeah, I was gonna say I need more storage space for my computer because videos take up a lot of space. I mean a lot. I could, by the time I import all of the videos into my computer. That's just the raw footage. Then I gotta put the file into Premiere Pro, and just by doing that, it feels like it increases the file size by double. It doesn't, but it feels like it because the files do get bigger. And then you add in all the effects and you cut out some, and the file sizes get pretty big. Then you gotta upload them, and the upload speed is slow here. We get fast download speeds, but our upload speeds, for some reason, even on the most expensive plan they will give us, $109 a month, we can only upload at 20 megabit per second. So it would take hours. So I know people who set the video to render. Dwayne is lost with all that tech stuff. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. But I know big channels, they take hours or days just to get one video edited. They take hours and days to get all the video just edited. Then they have to render it after it's edited, and that takes more, like a few more hours. Then they gotta upload it.
all honesty, of all that footage we got, we'll probably only use 10% of it.
Probably.
That's
But it's still gonna take a lot of time to comb through all the footage. Because I gotta find what's good. Yeah, I was gonna say I have to comb through all the rolling cameras and stuff. I know what we need to do. We need to get that dash cam working in the cop car. We just need to leave it record whenever we drive around. And every night when at the end of the day, every day, we need to comb through and keep any good footage. But if there's anything stupid, we're just gonna delete it. But I was gonna say then we could eventually make a compilation of all the stupid drivers we see.
yeah, but the thing with that is that's a motion camera.
I mean, we could get a higher resolution dash cam,
No, or not.
or we could.
Or we could focus on making automotive video.
Or I could put that. Well, we could make automotive videos with the dash cam. I could put a dash cam in my Civic.
Fly through it. Why? So we can laugh at you while you're rolling.
Yeah. Or I can make it, or it can get me out of something. Like if someone else is at fault in an accident, I can prove that it was their fault.
4 minutes or so, we'll wrap up. That's where people's going on. About quarter after.
We've plateaued.
I'm going to the junkyard tomorrow, Tony. You got what time do you think you get on the schoolwork?
I don't have school tomorrow. Remember?
Oh, so you go to junkyard with me.
Yeah, it's Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow.
You want
That's why
to
we
go
have
to junkyard with me tomorrow? Get some parts.
off.
You can film.
Yeah, I could.
See, I
What
roll
time?
on, we need to get the cameras.
What
It's gonna be
time?
after 11.
You're gonna have to RSVP because
It's
I
gonna be
have
after 11:30.
I have some sleep scheduled, and I have an appointment with sleep, and I have an appointment with video games. So you're gonna have to RSVP
You
somewhere in the
remember-
middle. Well, that's okay with you, right? Though
Yeah.
you can RSVP a time.
Yeah, I figured it's gonna be after 11:30. My
Okay.
grandmother gonna go somewhere.
Well, I wake up before that,
Yeah.
so
I
that's
do
fine.
too. I wake up at like 7, but I can't go till grandmother's done. She has
I
to,
woke up at like.
she has to use her car tomorrow.
Okay. I woke up at like when I was at Chris's. When I woke up Saturday, when I woke up.
I mean,
I was up pretty early.
the nerve of your grandmother to have to use her car.
Her own car. I can't believe
Just
it.
use her own car.
I
So
Yeah.
unfair.
know.
But no, I figured though.
No, I feel like when I have mine, I'm gonna be the one everyone's asking for. Honestly, though, am I right? Because none of my other friends who can get their permit, they don't want their permit. They said it's too stressful to drive. They don't want to. They don't want to get their license.
Here's
But
how
I do, and I have my permit. So I feel like they're gonna once I get my license and I can drive
Here's how
without someone in the car.
Here's
I feel
how
like,
I always done that when with friends like that.
yeah,
I would just tell them like, hey, everybody wants to go out, go ride or go do something. Since you're providing the car and you're driving, they can all kick a couple bucks towards fuel.
Yeah.
And your car get 35 miles a gallon
that's good.
if you're running it easy. And you're just cruising, which you're gonna be normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be out of hot rod until you get, you
No.
gotta get experience in it. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm not giving you a case here. You got to talk. I want
I was
you to
gonna
know.
say, are we gonna straight pipe the exhaust
Yeah.
and so I can?
It's already pretty loud.
So I
He's
can-
already got a fart can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we straight pipe the exhaust
Yeah.
so I can just roll down Pittsburgh Street at
Yeah.
3 a.m. and disturb all the residents of Connellsville with my loud Civic.
We can find flamethrower kit. She's throwing off. No, but
That's excessive.
it's not excessive.
I feel like that's
We
excessive.
can make that.
No,
It's just an ignition coil.
I
spark
no,
plug.
that I don't want that. It's excessive.
We could even go with a little 1 pound propane thing so you could have a constant flame. It look like an afterburner. So I guess then, guys, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Thanks to everybody. Thanks Schultz, Colleen, Hilljack. Who else we had in
Dakota's
there?
here.
Dakota was on here with us. Mom
Amanda
was
came
in
on
here.
here.
Amanda
Sam
was in.
Allen.
Sam Mount Ballistics was on here. John Wilburn stopped in.
Everyone stopped.
Lopar Dan.
Bad Tree.
Bad Tree Blake was here. We had Dawn English was here. I'm trying to think who all we had. We had lots of people here. Yeah, guys.
Gas cash or ask somebody
Yeah.
else for free.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said to them.
Yeah.
They were like, when we were at East Park, and we were gonna ride. We were originally gonna walk back, and then Ryan's grandmother picked us up. But I was like, Chris was like, well, we could wait for Ryan to get right back, and I was like, we have 2 feet.
Yeah.
We have legs.
Yeah.
They're not broken. We
Sorry.
can walk. It's only 1 mile from East Park to your house. We can walk. I know people who live on one
Right,
side
right.
and they walk.
I
all
used
the
to
way.
walk everywhere.
They walk from one side of Collinsville
Yeah.
across the bridge to the west side, from the
Totally.
east side, and
I used to walk everywhere. I see none of these people like that. It cracks me up when you see teenagers say, when I was in junior high, I would walk or ride my bicycle from Connersville to Uniontown to go hang out with my friends.
yeah.
I never asked for a ride like that. I
And now
just
we
walked
have,
everywhere.
Now we have cars.
No, everybody had cars in.
I mean,
you just did it. If
Yeah,
you
but
was in-
now it's more common.
if we was able to do it, why not do it? So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back probably 7:30 Tuesday night. We'll pop back in. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Thank you, Dakota, for coming on. Buck does it. Thank you for coming in with us and hanging out. Everybody's welcome. We appreciate it. We wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for our viewers and our subscribers. So, like I said, we're equal to all you guys. We thank you very much for allowing us to do this. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you Tuesday. Remember, you can race your car, but you can't race your house. Or you can sleep in your car, but you can't race your house.
Yeah.
Remember that. Words to live by. All right. Later, everybody.